Mr. Apple is left now. You ready to go, Jim?
Yes.
I call to order the regular meeting of the East Haddam Inland Wetlands and Watercourse Commission on this Tuesday, August 17th, 2021 at 7:30 p.m. Jim, would you call attendance, please?
Randolph Dill.
Here.
Mary Augustini.
Here.
Brian Goff.
Present.
Daniel Janey.
Here.
Jennifer Burton Reeve, absent.
I saw her reminder that she wasn't going to be here. She's out of state. Minutes of the last meeting, which I was not at, which was June 15th, 2021. Any corrections, additions?
All I had was
There's a couple of typos, but
a typo. That was just a little nit on page 3. You know, it's just a, there is a wood chip burns, and it just shouldn't be.
Yep.
There's only one. That's all I had. Like I said, it was just a little nitpick.
Yeah.
That's good.
No, I was good.
Okay.
Mary, I'm gonna just say, if you don't mind, sir, just, you gotta speak up or move that mic so it's right in front of you, because I know it's not broadcasting, especially with an ad.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion.
Move we accept the meeting minutes from June 15th as amended. We did make an amendment, right? Was
Yep.
this a spelling amendment?
Right.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Not all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. I didn't have any bills in my packet.
We just got a whole pile from East Haddam News. The first one is, see if I get this right. This is all the way back from April for $195. And the second one is to present for last month, $282.
And what are these for?
The East Haddam News, all of our legal notices. He came in with a stack of them.
Is that
For all of
typical? They're that far behind?
No, usually they're 2 months behind, but this time they've been a lot behind. I mean, they haven't billed us in all this year.
I was going to say, I don't remember them.
No.
So this
Fine.
is really like almost 6 months worth of
Yeah.
notices.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is 6 months worth. There's no doubt about it.
It's also a wrong fiscal year now, but
I know.
we're gonna have to eat it, so.
Yep.
Motion to pay the bills is presented.
Second.
Motion and second. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say no. I have membership on my...
I think we took care of that last month. It was just a
Yeah.
carryover. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Our sentences were extended.
One thing that probably for the minutes this month's meeting should be a statement that the July meeting was canceled due to lack of quorum. Just so.
That agenda was posted that way. It was posted.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean on the town hall?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Because otherwise we have minutes from,
Right.
and then
And
none.
we actually submit in the book.
Okay.
We submit it as,
Yep. Okay.
meeting canceled. Yep.
Okay, wetlands permit review, item A, continued application W21-10, located at 277 East Haddam Colchester Turnpike. This is on the Lower Moodus Reservoir. Alice Smith, it says recreate beach area. I don't know if that's recreation beach area. Is that what that's supposed to be?
Recreate.
Oh, recreate, excuse me. All right. Map 67, lot 10.
Mary, if you could just pass around. You're up.
My name is Tony Smith from 277 East Haddam Colchester Turnpike. So what I'm applying for is to kind of redesign and enlarge an entranceway into the water at make it safer for my grandchildren to enter into the water. What there is now is there's a wall that was built around the entire property. And it has a return on both ends, it's approximately 16 feet wide. And it looks, I've only been there for about a year and a half, but it looks to me what they created was an area to step down into the water, like a two-step area, which has eroded. There's a telephone pole at the base of the area to keep the washout back, but it's created kind of a cliff now. And what I'd like to do is to enlarge this, keep it the same width at 16 feet, but bring it back 12 feet to create a grade where my, myself, I'm 74, can walk down into the water. Whatever I would need is to do to protect the area in the construction. If it's improved, I would take into consideration. I have brought a contractor out, a local contractor. I am a builder and a contractor myself. I know how to do it myself. I have the machinery, but to bring my machinery from Beacon Falls, Connecticut to East Haddam is actually, it doesn't pay. So this is what I'm applying.
I'm having trouble understanding this diagram. Please help me.
So, yeah, if you look at
Where's the water and?
the water where it says 12-inch block and then water
Okay.
on the right-hand side.
Baited, I can't read
Right.
it.
I apologize for the purchase, the first guy.
Sorry.
The block at the bottom is a suggestion of the land use officer to hold the sand back from entering into the, it wasn't originally on my plan, to hold the sand back from actually filtering out into the reservoir.
Because right now where he has a diagram for block, there's that telephone pole, which is full of splinters and falling apart. And the block or the telephone pole as it is now does stop it from sliding in. So there is a buffer. So I said, it
Was
needs
it
to
a
be.
steeply sloped property to get down?
It's not really steeply sloped, but
It
it's
fluctuates
kind of bunched.
between 14 and 16. I used the laser and shot it. Depending on the height of the water at the time, it fluctuates between 14, 16 inches in height to the level area of the lawn.
Okay.
By bringing it back to 12 feet, I'm giving it about 1/4 of an inch per foot. It's just a nice, easy grade down.
And then the sides, if I'm reading your, is to be constructed by 6 by 6.
Yeah, 6 by 6s. The first one would come in about 4 feet. The second one would come in about 6 feet. The third one would come in at 12 feet. That is to hold back and bring the area level with the lawn.
I don't quite understand. Where is the cut between the 18 at the edge here?
18 at the water, yeah.
So this corner is
Can I
where,
walk up?
yeah. So this corner is where the beach is going to be? I'm not,
Have we looked at this?
yes.
We went and looked at it when you were away on
Right.
vacation. This is Natava's old property.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so here's the water, here's it didn't copy right. Okay, so here's the water. All right, from this point right here, this is the water, to this point on the top is between 14 and 18 inches, depending on the height of the water. So it'll be a gradual grade up. So this should have been a step, and then a step, and then this is level with the lawn all out here.
He's kind of, instead of having a side view, he's got it kind of flopped down.
Yes, please.
So where is this on that property? Just so me
It's
understand.
on,
I've been to the property.
right, it's,
Put it behind the house.
it's
There was some
behind,
docks out there where
Yeah.
several
Yeah.
docks.
A lot of docks.
Yeah.
They told him.
but the beach is sort of on,
So it'd be like
This-
this, man.
away from the bridge side. That's the way I could describe it, I guess. Okay.
So it's going to be right.
No, it's going to be over
No, no,
here.
No,
That's
no,
right
he's
here.
got it right.
Oh,
It's right there.
right there.
It's right here.
Yeah,
Got 3 versions here.
Well-
yeah, well,
Yeah, this, yeah.
It's the house and it goes kind of straight
I
out.
would
so
say,
the-
I would say, the docks aren't in the same place.
Right.
There were so many docks, I gave them away. I would say it's in this area right here.
Yep, that's about right.
Right.
Okay, I mean, starting right off, we're gonna need a better plan where this actually is on something, so we know where it is for the future, because this gets a little confusing. So, I think I understand a little bit better what the plan is. I just wish this diagram was a little better. Do you plan on,
I'm looking to see if I have the original in here, sir, just the.
do you plan on bringing sand in?
Yes, I did.
How much? How much?
How much sand, I would imagine probably 6 to 8 yards. It would be, I call it a curtain construction to do it. Before he could actually give me an actual price on the whole thing, he wanted your recommendations on it to give it. But as what I would think, I would say there's probably 6 yards of dirt coming out and probably 6 yards of sand coming in.
Okay, so there's actually gonna be a cut and then a fill.
Yes.
So the cut is toward the house, toward the
Yes.
cottage?
So the deep part would be at the water.
Because what I'm trying to get at is, I mean, is the sand gonna be fill in the lake?
No.
Or
No.
removing
No.
material and then the sand, so it's kind of a zero?
Yes.
Is that
Yeah,
your
because everything's
understanding?
gonna be behind the telephone pole, but when the telephone pole comes out, it's gonna be, his plan has it put in with block to keep that barrier to stop it from sliding into the lake and removing the telephone pole because it's a sliver.
Is this a 12 by 12 block that goes
Yep.
along here?
Yep,
Or whatever you suggest to keep it.
So it's 16 by 12 area of
16
disturbance.
16 feet wide, 12-foot depth.
And-
That's only thing, it could be anything, it's at your discretion.
But
That's to
I'm
give
just
it-
confused about and I get, so 6 by 6 is on the side where you're cutting, you're gonna use that to stabilize the
6 by
slope.
6 is on the side.
But the diagram makes it look like, does it step in? Is it actually 16 feet along the waterfront, or?
yeah,
Yes, it's
squared
squared up.
up.
Okay, so it's a
yeah.
square, a rectangle.
It's a square, it's just that the way he's got the 6 by 6s on the diagram, it's a side view. Mr. Duda would have had something to say about that. He was our shop teacher. He made
Oh,
him-
so it's kind of a plan and profile combined together. Oh, I get it, all right. So it's like I was missing something.
There you go, yeah,
All
no,
right,
it's
I
not gonna, it's not narrowing it down, that's supposed to be a part of the side view for the two
I see,
banks.
It's just a step up to bring the grade to the existing lawn.
okay.
And the reason it's 16 is because that is the return where the walls were built. It's pushing back into the ground.
Okay.
So are these the step up, is that on both sides? Because you're only
Yes.
showing it on one side.
Yeah, well, if I drew it on both sides, it made it look on the plan that you were stepping it out and making it look wider than it was. So it was hard to draw it to show you both sides at the same time. Both sides will be exactly the same.
So the telephone pole will be removed along the waterfront, and in its place will be block that's 12 inches high.
Whatever you suggest to hold the same.
Okay. I got it.
Now, is the block just gonna be one, or were there gonna be like
No,
little
it'd probably be
steps?
16 blocks, actually, 16
Oh,
individual blocks.
I didn't mean that way. Is it just one row of blocks, or is it kind of, and then another 4 feet, another set of blocks?
No, it'd be one row of
One-
blocks.
And water side of that row of blocks is nothing? I mean, it's
So
just
you say it
water?
again?
On the water side of the blocks,
Yes.
that's just water. There's nothing filled in there.
No, that's got a sand bottom, if
That
you
would be the
remember.
sand
Oh,
up
okay.
to it. Sand
Yeah.
a little lower so that it wouldn't flow over.
Okay.
How's the exposure on the water side to like wave action? Is the height such that either ice or water ski wake or something is gonna kind of ever get up there and kind of wash the sand out into the lake if it's
It'd have to
12
be,
inches?
it'd have to be a big storm, but in most cases, no.
pretty quiet
if
spot.
he leaves, yeah.
It's kind of designed along with everybody else's that's next to me. That's how we kind of did. My neighbor has the exact kind of, it's bigger, a lot bigger, but it's the same design as his. That's how we got it.
Similar? Okay.
One last question from me. You've got 16 feet here, just so that I completely understand this.
Yes.
That's 16 feet to the outer dimension of the 6x6s, or is it the interior dimension?
It's the outside of the outside.
Okay.
So it would actually be, the interior would be 15 feet.
Gotcha, okay, that's what I was looking for. All right. Okay, any other questions?
My only other question is that for the record, that there be a little better diagram
Or
Oh,
how about
Randy
a
already
photo
mentioned
when it's
that.
finished?
or a photo or something, because someone looks at this in 7 or 8 years and say, well, what did they do? And it's kind of hard
Okay.
from here.
Yeah, I could just photograph of that.
Yeah, I mean-
I would even kind of leave it up to Curtin to, if it's agreeable with you, if he wanted to redesign it. He's done more of these than I.
Yeah, I would say that, now that I understand what's going on, the block along the waterfront, like, was the intent to just, if you're just gonna sit the block right on the ground surface, or if you're gonna underline it with some kind of stone,
Oh,
so
they
that
put
it's got a
stone.
stable
They-
found footing?
Any contractor would put stone, just to, first of all, the level, to keep it level.
Yeah.
And to keep it in a stable condition. That's what I do.
So the block is put in because right now there's a telephone pole or
Yes,
something
ma'am,
there
there's a telephone pole.
along that side, and you're going to take that out and then
Yes.
put these blocks in
Yes,
it? Okay. Gotcha.
So for the final plan here, it's probably, Curtin's gonna have to give us an as-built, but I think,
Which we got an A2 survey, so that helps.
okay, so I'd like to see this on that A2.
Yeah.
So we know where it is in the future. If
Gotcha.
property changes hands, we know where this beach is. Because there's a lot of stuff there, and I'd like to keep track of it.
Right.
Most of it's gone, sir, believe me.
Oh, is it?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, on this diagram, it doesn't really show where your house is. Or maybe.
Yeah, but that
this
gets to the
diagram-
A2, yeah.
Right. That's why this is a little confusing. Okay.
All right. Dan, you have anything else? Brian?
No, that's good.
Okay.
Here, put this, it's not great, put it with that, it's kind of everything we talked about together, combined. I even put the telephone pole in there.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move we approve the application of Alice Smith to recreate a beach area, map 67, lot 10, as identified on the A2 plus plan submitted
Today, I put today's
today.
date.
And
Thanks.
also that upon completion by the contractor, that there be, the A2 be, the map be updated and a photograph of the completed area provided.
Second,
Did I get everything?
Yeah, I think so. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Item B,
I'll
new,
get back to you then.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
new application, W21-11, Ray Palmer Road, Greg McKenna, construct a commercial building in the upland review area, map 65, lots 163, 164, 165, 169, and 170.
So we were on site, I think that was in June, the June field walk. I sent everything down to Brian Curtis for review. Sent it in 2 steps because one, Chris gave me the drainage calculations and the drainage map, and the second half, Brian sent me the review comments today, and the biggest part of his review comment was that, well, I'm having a tough time figuring this out because I don't have a pre and post drainage map and a calculation. And I went, we sent it. And so somewhere the US Postal Service has it. And there were other items in there, cleanup items and stuff that was more for zoning. And so Chris
Send it
Bell
in
and
one
I,
package, or you sent it in a couple of packages?
we sent the first package down because we got it. And I said, Brian, here's the stuff to start reviewing. And then I'll send the second. Sent the
Got it.
second.
Never got it.
Never got it. And the best part of it was that Susan says, well, I know I did this because I had to go and put it and meter that thing because the drainage calculations were thick and I had to meter it. She goes, I know I sent it. So anyhow, it didn't get there, but there were enough comments to it that Chris said, why don't I just clean the whole thing up and come, get you a clean report from Brian and show up at the next meeting with everything. So he asked that it be continued.
Okay. Well, the
Well, it
last
doesn't need to be
date,
continued until the next meeting, so.
Right,
well, the last date, September anyway, so.
right. Yep.
Just refresh my memory where this is.
This is the across from the Hilltop Barbecue, the pharmacy application.
This was
Oh,
part of,
okay.
this was
Yeah,
part of,
gotcha. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
what's his name's original
And
project.
being that it's, all that parking and all that square footage of things, range calculations are important. And I could see why Brian had a tough time figuring out what was going on.
Yeah.
So this isn't gonna change the last date? I mean,
Nope,
it's
not at all.
just We don't have the
actually meet on-
information.
Right.
We meet next on the 21st. And he won't be on the agenda for planning and zoning at the earliest will be September 28th. So,
So I move we continue to the next meeting.
second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Thank you.
This is basically Rodney's old thing.
Yeah. I see they've cleared it too. Cleaned up all the brush. Item C, new application, W21-12, new 9-hole disc golf course, Nichols Field on Nichols Road, Town of East Haddam, map 75, lot 21.
And actually, both this one and the last one were on the agenda from July. So they're not new anymore, but we did have them posted on the agenda.
All right, have any new information?
No, I mean,
I think everybody was out there on the field walk, yes? Brian, were you out there?
Brian was
For the
not
original
there.
one, but not for this
Yeah,
one.
no, I wasn't for the.
So-
And he wasn't, it was,
So this is a
You,
different
me,
location, you understand?
Yeah,
and,
it's right behind the
um,
dump, the transfer station, sorry.
and Jennifer were on it.
Yep. Anybody have any comments?
I wasn't quite sure. I mean, we were looking at one hole that went a long way. Was that the one that had the crossing, or the crossing was before?
the
The crossing was already there, right? It's not a new
crossing,
one.
yeah, the crossing was already there. It was part of the red trail.
Okay.
Yep, where they cross the stones, where they're hopping
Right.
across. Yeah. Yeah, that was part of the red trail from the Conservation Commission trails.
That's between hole 1 and hole 2?
Actually, no, it's all the way
Like
up and it's
around
out of
8.
place. Basically, if it's just a little north of 6, where the stream is.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So as
it's-
part of the project, the gate for the transfer station is gonna be moved further toward the transfer station, and they're gonna clear for additional parking. on
Actually, you
the-
don't have to clear. If you look at the shoulders of the road, there's like a 25-foot swath of grass on both sides.
So it's
And,
a
you know,
de
so-
facto parking lot, but there's no new real disturbance.
No, we're not looking at put anything down unless it becomes necessary, but at this point, parking on the sides of the roads, and it's just better than them parking, there was some discussion, well, they could park across the road, and I said, absolutely not, you're not parking on 149.
Okay.
No.
And actually, where number 2 is, where they want to move the parking, that's really the beginning of the trail, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. On the other side, yeah.
or the original Conservation Commission
So
trail.
that'll be better for them too,
Right.
yeah.
Are there gonna be conflicts? That was my most
They're
biggest
actually,
concern.
the trail runs right through the golf course on the other side, and it just hasn't been.
So there, you don't expect conflicts,
I have-
people that are using the disc course and a group is hiking through it.
I've had people say they've gone through and watched the people golfing and gone through and hiking, and I haven't had it, let's put it this way, it's been up, what, for 3 years now?
Yeah, I have to tell you, Randy, I thought the same thing, that there might be conflicts, people just out for a walk, but we have not received a single complaint about it.
I think it's those mushroom pickers that have the biggest conflict, you know? It's
We
dangerous
can't
out there.
help them.
So for those people for the people who use both the course, and I guess more importantly, the hiking trail, where do they park now, currently?
Right now?
Yeah.
Most of them, they park before the gate. And there's signs there, they can park behind the gate, but they have to be moved forward by the time the transfer station closes. So that's one of the reasons we said, we were gonna move it in anyway. So, the rest of them, they can walk around, and some walk all the way around and then walk down 149 to get back to the parking lot.
And actually, they park in 3 spots. They park on Trowbridge and walk in from that trail. They park at Nichols and walk into there. I've had them say also that some people just walk the course because it's wider and it's more open.
I'm just running through
Yeah.
unintended consequences of
Yep.
this. The use of this course could occur any day, could be the weekends,
Yep.
weekdays, whatever, on transfer station days.
Mhm.
You're gonna have potentially, if what I heard is true, that this course is probably more popular than a lot of them around, it's very popular. You could end up with a lot of parking here.
So, yeah,
Bikers.
potentially, but I think this is a secondary course. It's gonna be a simpler course, if I remember correctly, Joe, isn't it?
This is kind of, it provides 2 purposes. One, it's a simpler, quicker course. But it also, one of the things that they've said is that people go through the 18 holes pretty quickly. So if you added 9 more, they'll start at Nichols Field. Nichols Field still, according to them, is still gonna be their primary parking spot. And then they'll do the first 3 or 4, cross over, do the additional 9, then continue on their way. They said they expect that it's more of the 27, hole people, and they'll start right from the beginning.
So there is the potential that people they come for one, they're gonna use the other.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
there
yeah.
may be more crossings on that wetlands crossing. Not that that's pretty well armored there with stones. I don't think that's a big problem. I'm not having a problem with this. I'm just trying to think out, there are, lots of things going on in this one area, and it could end up being some
There's
conflict.
actually where they're talking about moving the gate to, there'll be room for at least 20 cars, I think.
How many spots are at Nichols right now? About 30?
Parking spots? If they,
For this?
if they did it right, because I designed it, there's 45 parking spots there. And
I don't mean
there's-
on the other side of Nichols,
Nope,
I'm just talking
just
about.
on the lower spot.
yeah,
And the
yeah.
other side has an additional, to it. So there's plenty of parking there.
Is there gonna be marking, like where you can park, so that there's no necessarily somebody being sloppy that's gonna kind of be sticking out into the access road for the, like
Well, it's-
Randy says, the
it's
transfer
kind of
station, traffic going in and out, and the trucks and the dump? There's not gonna be a delineated parking spots along the,
It wasn't
Side.
planned to be at this time, but
We
It's-
talked.
it doesn't take long to do a spray paint and, spray paint some parking
It was
spots.
pretty wide, grassy.
Yeah, that's a pretty
area.
wide grassy area that's maintained.
And it is a straightaway. That was one of the discussions we had at planning and zoning.
And it will probably actually improves the parking for people who just want to hike it, because right now,
Yeah.
there's like 3 spots in that little, I don't know why they ever put the gate there in the first place. Instead of putting the gate which is where the 2 sides of the trail come together, if you do the circle all the way
If you
around.
go way back, they had 2 gates there. I mean, they moved it out at one point.
Yeah.
Because they had the chain link fence roller gates, but we looked it over and Public Works didn't see an issue with it being
Because it's still enough away from the transfer station itself, but it gives people some parking instead of where they are now, just for the hikers, never mind anyone else.
And if they park in there and want to hike on, they have to be out by 5 o'clock, so they're not locked in. So this would resolve that issue.
Right.
Now, how about taking trees down? They have to take a couple trees down?
Most of the stuff, small stuff there, they've got,
And that's all by hand though, right? They're not gonna,
no, they actually have a volunteer who's a licensed arborist who's coming in and help them out.
does he bring a skidder in or anything like that? Skid
No.
steer? Okay.
No. No, and in fact, even the first time when we did with Public Works, we did not bring anything in. Cut it up into pieces, pulled it to the side. They actually then came in and cut some of the longer pieces and used them for benches and for
Okay.
stuff, so.
So this is already before planning and zoning?
Planning and zoning kind of looked at it and said it's a pre-approved, site for that type of activity, so they were good with it already. They just said it's
They
gotta
had-
go through
We
wetlands.
had discussions about the parking and they didn't
Yeah.
have any issues with that?
No, they thought the same as Mary. It's pretty wide there and all that, and they also thought that, most people are gonna wanna do the 27 holes.
I mean, the parking's not in our purview, but.
Right.
But
Yeah, no, they were fine with it. It was,
Actually, I think with the gate move, the parking would improve over what's people are stuck with now.
yeah, okay. All right, anybody have anything else?
No, but do we have, oh, it was on last month, so we can't go
Right.
this month, right?
yep,
Okay. If we're good, I'll make a motion. I move we approve the application for a new 9-hole disc golf course in Nichols Field, Nichols Road for the town of East Haddam, map 75, lot 21. Is this considered the official plan here, Jim?
yeah.
Okay.
That's about the same thing.
We have the same copy, so
I got plenty
in
of
accordance with the plan dated 8/17, what's today, 16, 17? 17. Thank you.
No? Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, say no. Good to go. Enforcement officers report, and I have another item that, I don't know, unless you're gonna bring it up.
Yep, gonna
Okay,
bring it
well,
up. The first one though, East Haddam Fish and Game Club called, said, the stream's starting to go down, crossing their fingers. Do we wanna schedule a, after work walk? And I said, well, we better do it in August, towards the end of August before it gets dark. We'll never make it in time. Do we think we got enough time if it gets dark at 7:30, 7:45 if we started at 5:45, or do we do that on a weekend?
I would hope we do it on a weekend,
Okay,
so we're not
all right.
pressed to try to get
So
rushed
why don't I
through.
do this? I'll send everybody an email tomorrow about schedules, throw out some dates,
Okay.
just so that we could do it.
The 8 Mile River Group asked about
Yep,
this too.
I told Pat I'd let her know.
Okay.
Are they gonna walk it too?
Yeah, they can.
Okay.
Yep,
Just a note, I'm in uniform at least 1 weekend a month.
all right. So I'll give
Whatever,
some
just throw it out
options.
there and I'll let you know.
Yep, okay.
September is probably a good month to do it anyway.
Yeah, I'm bringing the mushroom basket. The second thing is that while I was gone on vacation, there was quite a little uproar about a Lake Hayward Association property on Glimmer Glen. It's a narrow 11-foot access point to the peninsula down on the lower section of the Lake Hayward. Two property owners were, I guess, very upset about the association moving forward without the benefit of any permit or review. So I talked to the one neighbor about it today. You talked to the other neighbor last week, I guess.
I talked to the complainant.
Yeah, and she sold the property, so she's gone.
Oh, really? She didn't tell me
Yeah,
that.
yeah, so she's gone, but she still was concerned. So I said, well, I might as well just nip it in the bud, and I sent an email to the president and the property manager and, some of the board. I just sent it to them to say, hey, look, just like anything else, if you're gonna do something, you bring us a plan and, we review it, and if you have questions about it, we'll look at it ahead of time if you want us to do that. The guy calls up and he goes, I'm confused. He said, all I did was briefly mention that for 10 years they've been asking the property guy, which happens to be him now, he's new, to look at this about doing something. He goes, I don't have any proposal. He said, I got enough on my hands. And I said, well, why don't we nip it in the bud? So he's going to call me Monday and look at the weather. He's retired. I said, well, take a look at it. He goes, I don't want to put canoe racks down there. I don't want to do any of that. He said, so he goes, yeah, I could use your advice. So I said, I'll take a walk out there and look at it. I said, if you did anything, it'd have to be a formal application. He said, oh, I'm totally aware of that.
What do they want to do?
Well, I guess the neighbors interpreted that they were going to clear cut the entire 11 feet all the way down to the lake.
Oh.
And, you know, it runs 200, what's it have on there, Randy? You got the map in front of you. It probably runs, what, 200 feet?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say at least that. Who owns that property?
That is owned by the Lake Hayward Association.
Okay.
That's just like in between, if you look at the other lots up on the hillside, they've got these little,
Right away.
yeah, and they're actually owned by the association. So you didn't have to walk all the way down the road. You could walk down the hill between the cottages.
So this is a rumor gone wild.
Yes.
Well, let's make it better and say, there's a helicopter landing zone on there. They're gonna land helicopters.
Part of the problem was the person who I spoke with, who was one of the owners, was this owner right here, sent a video of people cutting trees, pulling trees, and so everybody thought this was an ongoing situation. So thinking cease and desist and that sort of thing. And when I talked with her, she says, oh no, that was last year
Yeah,
that
that's what I
happened.
thought. Okay, this is thing from last year.
So I said, fine, we'll take it up in wetlands and we'll have a discussion, field walk if necessary. But the way she conveyed it to me was that certain people, she thought, wanted a view. So
Yeah.
they wanted that cleared so they would have a view
And-
down toward the dam.
And he said, yeah, no. Because I approached about that. He said, no. He said, I don't need any more work than unnecessary.
So is this completely off the table now?
No, I said, you know what, let's nip it in the bud, let's take a look at it. He goes, I'd love to get your opinion on this, you know, as to what's there. He goes, because he said, let's say you go down there and say it's so swampy and marshy and horrible that I get to say no. He goes, I'm good with that.
I'll tell you what, why don't you tack it on to a field walk that we have in the future?
Okay.
There's no urgency on this
Yep.
anyway.
No, he says it's not
so-
anywhere in his near plans.
So just, if it comes up again.
Yep,
We've
we'll,
seen it,
we'll
yeah.
have seen
seen
it.
it, sure. Yep.
You have anything else, Jim?
Nope, that was it.
Anybody have anything they want to throw in? No? Not?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion the second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Adjourned at 8:08.